and how's everybody doing today? Oh, come on, I'm sure you can do better than that. Let me ask that question again. How's everybody doing today? Great. My name is Zuriel Oduwole. I am 10 years old, and I flew all the way from Los Angeles, California to talk to you today. First of all, I'd like to welcome you all to Dream Up, Speak Up, Stand Up. I am very honored to be here and very excited to be speaking to you all today. I came on this trip with my mom, my dad, my two younger sisters, Azalea and Ira, who are 8 and 5, and my younger brother, Ismakaya, who is 3 years old. So let me tell you a little about myself. In case you haven't heard of my name, Zuriel, it's actually Hebrew, and it means God is my rock. And God truly is my rock. And I'm sure you all can recognize my last name, Oduwole, as Nigerian, but specifically from Ogun State, which is where my grandparents from my dad's side are from. Back home in Los Angeles, I attend a school called Connections Academy, where I'm in the 7th grade. The school is a little bit different from most regular schools because I don't have to go into a physical building. Instead, I do my work by the internet by going to my school's website and downloading the work for the day. But I still have teachers who mark my work, and at the end of the year, I still have to take state exams. I love attending school because it allows me to travel the world with my parents and experience new cultures. And my favorite subjects are social studies and science. During my spare time, I love reading adventure novels. In fact, right now, I'm starting to write my own adventure novel. When I grow up, I like to do many things, some of which are an author, an athlete, an actress, and when I get much older, I'd like to become the President of the United States of America. This isn't my first time to Nigeria. I've actually been here quite a few times, and I always look forward to coming back here. The people I've met are very friendly to me, and I love the foods here. Some of my favorite foods are eba stew and jollof rice. The only thing I don't really like is every time the power keeps going. So that just gives you a little bit of information about me. So what is Dream Up, Speak Up, Stand Up all about? Well, someone once said, if dreams were for sale, what would you buy? So what will some of you guys buy? Is there anyone? Okay, do none of you have any dreams? Okay, well, dreaming is important because with your dreams, along with your actions, it can help determine your future, and if it's big enough, it can help determine the future of other people as well. President Kennedy stated his dream of landing a man on the moon in the early 1960s, and by the end of the decade, it had happened. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream, and because of that, there's an African American in the White House today. And President Mandela had the dream of ending apartheid. So that is why dreaming is important. It is the first step in our journey. So what do we mean by speaking up? Well, as some of you may guess, it means saying something even when it's not popular to do so. In 1955, during the civil rights movement in America, a young African American woman named Rosa Parks was asked to give up her seat to a Caucasian person on the city bus. But she said no, and because of this, she was then arrested. However, because of her speaking up, it led to a boycott of the city bus services for 1 year, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. standing up for her, and then later on the Supreme Court ruling against segregation in America. So that is an example of someone chose to speak up. Speaking up is the second step in our journey. So what is standing up? Well, the most important thing about standing up is that you stand, and stand again if you have to. Because many successful people failed at first before succeeding. And some examples of people who failed at first, but did not let that stop them from continuing. Has anyone here heard of Colonel Sanders? Anyone?
Yes.
Okay. He's the original founder and owner of KFC.
Yes.
But did you know that he started his dream at 65 years old?
Right.
So that shows that it's never too late to start dreaming. He went around different restaurants, knocking on the doors, trying to sell a secret fried chicken recipe, which I think is delicious, and I'm sure y'all can agree with me. Right? And he was turned down many times. Can any of you guess how many times he was turned down before being able to sell it? Anyone have any guess?
Right.
50?
Actually, a lot more than that.
50?
Excuse me?
50.
No, he was actually turned down 1,009 times before being able to sell his fried chicken recipe. Now, if he had stopped at 1,000 and didn't wait the next 9 times, they wouldn't have had any food that we could say was finger-licking good. Now, I'm sure you all have also heard of Walt Disney, who gave us Disney World and Mickey Mouse. But did you know that his first animation company went bankrupt and that he was fired by his news editor because he was saying that he was lacking imagination? And legend has it that he was turned down 302 times before being given financing to create Disney World. And I'm sure you all have also heard of Steven Spielberg, the famous director who has created many successful movies including E.T., Jurassic Park, Batman, Superman, Indiana Jones, and was the executive producer for Transformers and Men in Black, and much more. And when he was younger, he applied for the most prestigious film school in all of California and was turned down twice. So he ended up going to a regular California State University. However, in 1994, that same school turned him down twice and awarded him with an honorary degree. And some people today say that he has made some of the best successful movies in blockbusters history. And today he is worth more than $2.7 billion and counting. So why mention all those who have failed? Because we should not let failure kill our dreams. Instead, we should use them as a stepping stone to execute them. So how did it all start for me? What's my story? Well, as you all have seen in the news, there have been a lot of negative comments about Africa, such as the wars, the famine, and the corruption. Even when something positive happens in Africa, the news network presents it in a bad way. But Africa, as you all know, has had some amazing political leaders, and I have been privileged enough to interview some of them, such as President Jakaya Kikwete of Tanzania, who has reduced the amount of infant mortality rate in his country, President Zuriel of Mauritius, who has doing his best to do sorry, I'm a little nervous. Who is doing his best to improve the healthcare and education in his country, and President Joyce Banda of Malawi, who is one of only 2 female presidents in all of Africa, and has made many sacrifices, including selling presidential assets and slashing her own salary. When I was 9 years old, I entered a competition called National History Day, and we were asked to create a documentary on revolutionary days and events. So I thought this was a wonderful opportunity for me to show the positive things about Africa. So in Africa, I picked the country Ghana, and with that, I picked the Ghana Revolution. In this documentary, I was also privileged enough to interview former President Jerry Lyons of Ghana. Because we are judged on how well we balanced the documentary, I thought it would be really neat to include an interview with the successor, former President John Kufuor of Ghana. Both interviews are very exciting, and former President John Kufuor's one, we went to the King of the Ashanti's house, the Ashanti Hene, because that's where he was on vacation. Well, I entered that same competition again this year, keeping my focus on Africa, but instead I was said that it's the city presidents of Africa, the 3 that I mentioned earlier. President Christopher Priyaga of Mauritius, President Joyce Banda of Malawi, and President Jakaya Kikwete of Tanzania. And some of those interviews are featured in a documentary that I'll be showing you later. In Nigeria, I've only been able to interview one person, a famous businessman who is the wealthiest person on the face, who's the wealthiest African on the face of this earth, Mr. Aliko Dangote. And I wanted to interview him so I could find out how he uses his wealth to change the world and benefit the poor people. And I love interviewing business leaders and political leaders because I can find out how they become so successful so I can become successful too. Well, to sum it all up, you should dream up, and dream big. There's a saying, don't tell me the sky's the limits when there are footprints on the moon. So what that's saying is that we should aim high. When speaking up, we shouldn't just use words, but we should also take action, just like Rosa Parks. There's also another saying where actions speak louder than words. And with standing up, when failure comes your way, you should just stand, and stand again until your dreams become reality. And as my advice, I see you should have a strong foundation so you can have sound dreams. For me, as my name Zuriel suggests that God is my rock, that is the foundation on which I build my dreams. Well, now I'm going to be showing you the documentary that I mentioned earlier. It is about the formation of the 1963 Organization of African Unity on Mauritius, Malawi, and Tanzania. I hope you enjoy watching, and I'll be able to take questions at the end. Thank you.